So what do we have here? So I pulled some energy for the day. Today's what? The 2nd of November? So this fool, and yes, use a fool, is approaching either a union that's already in place with the Two of Cups, a partnership, some type of agreement made between two people. Like, we're gonna do this venture together because it's more cost effective. We're living together because we can both save money and, you know, just try to stack our bread, and you help me and I help you and we help each other and we both win type of Two of Cups. And that could be with anything. It could be with work, carpooling. It could be living together, roommates. It could be working at the same place. But anyway, it's a collaborative effort. And then you have this fool. This could even be two people who already live together, um, not in any type of other situation. It could be a mother and child. It could be um, siblings. It could be, something already underway. But so here comes this fool, and they have a companion, more or less. This animal could not be an animal. It could be a child. It could be something that always goes with them, whether physically or metaphysically. So this person is packing light, and there's a home in the background of this Two of Cups. Okay, so there. But it's something that is protected. It is something that is, how do I say? It's my guides and your guides, or their guides and their guides. It's something that is aligned. So it can't just be severed or something like that. This is two two paths aligning, and therefore it is protected with the caduceus. There's some exchange, whether business, love, energy. Um, it's definitely, you see. So it's something that is watched over. It is something that is protected, regardless of outside influence. So then you have this full energy that is really an unexpected visit, unexpected occupant. Um, Zero here has, at first glance, no value, but it's something that can bring, it can come full circle. It can amplify a situation. Um, it's Uranus based, so therefore it is a cog in the wheel, so to speak. But noticing that cog in the wheel makes you shift and change things and do the needed repairs that you didn't know that you needed, or it's it adds a flavor to that dish that puts it right on point. These two have their own flavor, and it works. But this is something like a secret ingredient, and it's not really a secret. It's just it wasn't comprised of what was already in it. So the Fool. They have the Sun in this card. Now, most other cards in the tarot have moons. There's quite a few of them that have moons in the actual card, but there's a handful that have suns besides the sun itself. You have Temperance, the Death card, and that's pretty much it that I can recall. So, and those are major events, major karma. So, those two cards themselves are Sagittarius and Scorpio. This 2 here also, if I just look at it as 1 and 1, can be the month of November. November 20th, November, today is November 2nd, 02. And this is the energy for today. But anyway, so the 20th would put it right around Scorpio and Sagittarius season. Okay, anyway. Traipsing, that's the word I was getting just then. Traipsing in. But why though? Let me pick another card. Oh, wow. Mars, the Tower, Aries, and Scorpio. The Tower. This shakes up the home dynamic. Like I said, it's a shock to put an ingredient in that soup that makes it taste dramatically different but on point, or to have this agreement and for whatever reason this component walks in and changes. It's a change card. It's a change agent. Give me another. This needs to be discussed, this 3 of Swords, because I don't think that both parties in the 2 of Cups are really in agreement about this third energy, the Fool. So the truth as they know it is the Tower, and it's being shattered. And that doesn't have to necessarily be a negative thing. It's just that truth that once was is no longer the truth. It becomes a different truth, or the truth has shifted into a new thing. And a final card for Page of Wands. It's a message, and I think it's the message that what was believed with the Tower card. Oh, what was believed with the Tower card is no longer seen as the truth. It was the truth as it stood, but it's no longer standing, which makes it now a new truth, not necessarily false. So it's going to take some getting used to mentally that this is not the truth anymore. The truth is something else. And the truth is there's something new. A new fit, a new effort, collaborative, or somebody is, it could be a replacement, but it could be an addition. And it may be something outside of them that was proven false, or a new truth that was shattering. It shattered what they thought was. And that could be the reason why this person or energy is coming into this 2 of Cups situation. I don't feel that it's romantic influence, or, I mean, the Tower itself with the 3 of Swords could be, but not in this situation. This is elsewhere. If it is a third party situation, or this person, the Fool, leaving something like this that is disruptive to a business, disruptive to a home. Look at the physical dwelling of this Tower. It could be fucking electrical damage. It could be a house fire. It could be an eviction. It could be negative things, or it could be, structural issues that has a person no longer living there, and mentally unraveling that truth no longer exists. That is no longer my place of business, my place of residence, my place of employment. I'm no longer welcome there, or I can't go in there. That is not my place anymore. And that takes the mind through a series of debunking. Those truths are now myths. Those truths are now a different truth. So it's a mental capacity to handle change as it comes, but that lends an inspired message the power to be inspiring or to be creative in some sort of way. It's a way to deliver truth, um, and it's not in a detrimental way. It's like, okay, it's a bounce back. It's like, this is no longer, okay, it takes my mind a minute to catch up to what's really happening. But this gives me an opportunity to speak up, to say, to mention, to ask, to tell, or whatever. And so the Two of Cups, these people are not really expecting this person is on the way, jumping, because that's the only thing left to do is to take this guided leap, even though a person doesn't feel that they know what is to happen by doing so. They really are left because of the Tower and the Three of Swords. It's like that was not the ultimate truth. And because it wasn't, it was the reality that you chose or the reality that you knew. But the Three of Swords tells me that it was not the truth. That's it. It's not that the, it's it's like the truth as you knew it to be is not the truth. It's what you had proof of and therefore believed. So now the Tower comes down. Three of Swords tells the mind, well, if that was not the truth, if something I thought was to last and stand up solid, like a building, like a living space, like something built solidly wasn't solid, then what is solid? Page of Wands is telling, hey, you gotta go. And this familiar right here, this helper, this assistant, this um, bond, this guidance is coming through in the form of a familiar, a passion, a project, a child, a spirit, the person's spirit, but it's seemingly outside of themselves, as if they need confirmation that people think that this familiar is trying to tell this person, hold up. In some cases it is. In this case it's not. It's pointing towards where they need to go, because that white is innocence. That white is purity. That's the truth. So if what you're leaving from is the lie, if you're what you're leaving from is the falseness, and in your mind it has amended itself through the Three of Swords' influence, it took a minute for your mind to tell your heart, it's okay. That was not the truth. It was just an experience to show me that I know better, or the real thing is about to emerge. And so the Page of Wands is a guide. It's like an energetic notion or a message, intuitive hit even, to say willfully, this is the direction to take. This is the way to go. Even though you may not have done that or may have avoided it in the past, it's coming up as a fool because never before have you had the opportunity to do it in this way or to go towards it with full trust, right? So this, whatever this is, may not have existed in the way that it exists now. For some reason, before it could have just been two people, two separate cups, or there may not have been a home in the background. May have been a tower in their background. They too could have gone through the Tower and Three of Swords, and that living situation did not pan out, did not go well. Maybe their lease was up, maybe anything of that caliber. That situation has changed. And there, on the other end, another person's situation has changed. So there lends opportunity now, Page of Wands, for the message to come through that all's clear on both sides. This is like a mirroring. Tower and Three of Swords. The situation before was not the ultimate truth of what was to go forward. So Three of Swords comes in with the Tower to say, hey, we're going to shatter what you're used to with the Tower. That thought of what you're used to is no longer. There's a separation of what that was to what is now to be. So a person and multiple people, too specifically, are getting used to their new truth, what they know it to actually be. And they're getting along, they're cooperating with the situation at hand, and they're quite content with that. This is what makes me feel that it isn't romance. This is uh, like I said, siblings. It could be family. It could be parent-child. It could be um, just. I don't think that there can be a time limit on it, but I don't think it's anytime soon. I just feel that this is the normal for them now. This is the truth for them now. This is something that was always supposed to be the way that it is. And they're quite, it works really well. And this is the energy coming in. These two people can experience this newness, or this is a third, and I felt like it was a person initially, and I still do feel it's a person, and they have another sense, they have another guide, they have another motivation that keeps them aligned, even though they may not have listened to it prior or put that at the forefront when making this decision to take this leap into action, this leap towards something that is solidly built. They came from something that looked taller and it looked more stable and it looked more established. And the truth is that it wasn't. It never was to begin with. It just looked that way. And so when it comes down, there's a sense of how. How did I trust that? Or how did I not see that? Or how did I not think that there was something up with the structure of this? This was a structure that you knew. This was a structure that had been going on so long that everybody just complied and everybody just went along with it. Even if it's like somebody didn't stop to think that there could ever be anything other than this. They settled for and settled in to something that had an expiration date approaching. And that's what took the heart and the mind. Even when you lose something that's seemingly not that important, it's still considered a loss, a grieving process. But lo and behold, since it wasn't that strong of a detriment, there's this could even be a mental block that's coming down. This could be the mind itself. That crown is coming off, and the lies of the heart or the lies of the mind are being separated from you. And that gives the freedom to actually speak up in a way that you've never done before. Well, damn. So, that was it, I guess. I didn't think I was going to see that, in these cards. My reading always changes, my style, because energy changes, energy shifts. And even though they have a vibrational octave and things of that nature, they speak a different story when you can see, when the mind is open, when the heart is open. There's certain things you can see that you weren't able to see before. It's like a person no longer being afraid of heights, because they've had heights and they've also had depths. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing here. And now that there is a level playing ground, a level something solid to actually stand on, it's the fucking ground, versus being up 24 stories and the building coming down. You wish you were on the ground. So because a person is on the ground with another person and they're building up every single thing carefully together, simply, and it's not as extravagant. This extravagant shit looked very, very nice. It's like a Trump Tower made with fool's gold. And when some kind of turbulence happens, this shit starts to crumble, or it starts to rust, or it starts to do some weird shit because it wasn't built as soundly as something that was from the ground up. So now, out of that rubble, out of that falseness, the ground of the tower leading way to the end of the cliff. It's just that close to the fucking ground. I'm not fucking ground, but to the edge. It's just that close to the edge. One thing can make the whole Jenga tower just fall the fuck down. And it's close to the edge of the table. Now consider that. The only way left to go is off the fucking edge, or else it will cascade on top of you and block your path from moving forward, because you'll be caught in the rubble. You'll be caught in the shrapnel. You'll be caught in all of this stuff that you had no idea was going on underneath the foundation of this. And the lies it was built on, the falseness it was built on, the manipulation it was built on, underhanded tactics and shady business deals underneath all of this. You don't want it to fall on top of you. So the best case scenario is for this to fall with you having enough time and a